What is happening, everybody? James Hancock here. I'm back to do a quick reaction video to our first official look at The Witcher over on Netflix starring Henry Cavill. I should say in advance that I'm very new to this franchise. I only recently started playing Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, which I'm absolutely loving, but I also started reading this collection of short stories, The Last Wish, from Andrzej Sapkowski, I believe that's how you say his name. These stories were first published back in 1993, but he's written a whole series of books about this character, Geralt. And admittedly, I'm very new to this character, but I just love the character. I love the simplicity. He's a guy that is hated and despised by the people who pay him to save them from monsters. It's a great, simple little premise. It's a great medieval fantasy environment. And I love how it's hard fantasy. It's got tons of supernatural elements, tons of magic, tons of monsters. Sometimes fantasy tries to almost kind of tuck away those fantastic elements in order to feel more grounded. But I love how Witcher's like, you know what? This is sword and sorcery. Let's just lean into it. But what's cool for Henry Cavill is that if this works out great on Netflix, he could play this character indefinitely. There's so much material out there that they could adapt. He could play it for 10, 15, 20 years if he likes. And when things are a total mess over at Warner Brothers with the DC Extended Universe, it might be the perfect time for him to pivot into a different franchise. So it's a very exciting time to be a fantasy fan. Right now, Netflix, HBO, and Amazon, they're all going all in on the fantasy genre. We've obviously got The Witcher, we've got The Wheel of Time, we've got a new Lord of the Rings, we've got His Dark Materials. There was a new trailer for that yesterday. We've got the Game of Thrones prequel. It's bananas, and I've been just ripping my way through a bunch of fantasy books, trying to get up to speed so be prepared for all these shows. But I think I've yammered enough at this point. Let's have a look at old Super Duper Man in the role of Geralt. So I'm starting this sucker in 3, 2, 1.
I remember hearing stories about witches. Is it true what they say?
He looks cool.
Elves are the original sorcerers of the continent. When humans and monsters arrived, elves taught humans how to turn chaos into magic. And then the humans slaughtered them.
Chaos is the most dangerous thing in this world. But without control, chaos will kill you.
So that's all life is to you? Monsters and money?
It's all it needs to be.
Something out
He
there
looks
waits for you.
so jacked. Oh my
This
god.
child will be extraordinary.
Yennefer, imagine the most powerful woman in the world. Do you have what it takes?
Nilfgaard here. She's why they came. You can't outrun destiny just because you're terrified of it. It's coming. Find Geralt of Rivia.
I can't do this without you.
No matter what you choose, you'll come out bloody.
Finally seeing a monster. Oh, interesting. I'm intrigued, but it's very different from The Witcher. Admittedly, I'm very new to this, so I shouldn't say what The Witcher brand or flavor is all about, but it seems much bigger and more epic in scope than at least the short stories I've read and the adventures I've gone on so far in Wild Hunt. I'm only like level 9 right now in Wild Hunt, so all the little adventures I've been having are pretty small. It's like pick up a contract, go kill the monster, come back, collect your reward, which is what a lot of these short stories are like as well. So it's interesting seeing it kind of leaning into this big, giant, almost like Lord of the Rings type canvas. Also notice that it seems like he's like the only guy in the show, and that's not a complaint. It's like, you know, tons of beautiful women and witches and sorceresses and queens, etc. But that'll be interesting to see just how Witcher kind of how Geralt navigates that environment. But I'll be interested to hear what the hardcore readers think, because I know a lot of people have a very different idea about the character from the games. Like when they first saw the images, like, how come he's only got one sword? And people was like, well, where's his beard? And I saw this great tweet from Netflix, and they said, oh, well, his beard's back home where we left the books. Like, you can tell they're getting a little annoyed by the fact that so many diehard, passionate fans of the Witcher franchise who have played all three games are totally unaware of the fact that there's actually this giant beloved series of books that the games are based upon. But once again, I'm enjoying the games, I'm enjoying the literature, and I'm just curious to see what comes next. Is there a release date? That's the most important thing, because I want to be as prepared as possible before it comes out. Season 1, boom, boom, boom. I'm not seeing a date yet, but hopefully it'll be soon. Netflix tends to release a trailer and then just crank out the show pretty damn quickly. So it wouldn't surprise me if it comes out like in a month or two, but I need to confirm that. At any rate, love to hear what you think. Let me know in the comments below. Give me a shout on Twitter if you want to talk about fantasy books, fantasy games, fantasy shows. It's a weird thing where I've been a lifelong fantasy fan, but it used to be this kind of strange closet genre, and now it's having this like massive comeback, and that's very exciting. So it's a good time to be a reader, a player, a watcher, all that good stuff. So chalk me up as optimistic. I would say I'm stronger than cautiously optimistic. So I'm rooting for this in a big bad way and hope it'll be great. But yeah, look for me on Twitter @ColeRex, or if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. But thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. But more importantly, as always, onwards and upwards.